Hello, Altoona Boys Golf. Chris here again. Saturday I was hitting balls, chipping like I asked you guys to do in the yard, hitting tons of shots. Saturday we get dumped on with snow. Just great northern Wisconsin weather, and it's still snowing out. But I heard this weekend's supposed to be 60 on Saturday again. So again, if it's nice out, I want you guys out hitting balls in the yard. Keep practicing. I'd like to have these things a little more interactive. So I asked you guys last week for a picture of you guys chipping. Didn't get any. I posted my picture. I didn't see your guys' picture. I'd like to stay a little more interactive, a little more input from you guys. Feel free to contact me or Kelly if you have any questions. Attach them to the string. Just want more back and forth, not just me and Kelly sending information out there. So a little review from what we talked about last week, more on my side. We're talking about in the pool, all right? So below our waist, below the horizon, all right? We talked about grip, putting that good grip on, and it being the same every time, all right? We talked about swing path, all right? Whether you're coming inside to out or outside to in. Talked about club face, whether it was open or closed, right? These are all important information, and you cannot practice these too much, all right? So in the pool, small, till we get good contact, we want to stay there, all right? But today we're gonna elaborate on those a little bit more, and then we're gonna go into a little bit more of the swing, okay? We're gonna let it get a little bigger, all right? So in the pool, we talked about, where did my alignment stick go? I did have an alignment stick around here. I got it. All right, so talk about positions during the golf swing. There's certain positions we gotta hit all the time, all right? So this line here, the line your toes make, that's the toe line, all right? When we get to our backswing, we want to make sure that club is on the toe line and parallel, right there, all right? So good practice is just set up, toe line, set up, toe line. Do it about 10 times. Set up, toe line, all right? Once we got that, where we don't need that stick, then we're good, automatic, right? And then impact, here, stop, shaft lean, square, toe line, shaft lean, square, toe line, shaft lean, square, right? Now we go to the follow through. So we talk about the heel line. That's the line your heels are on. So we go our toe line, we go impact, we go over here on the heel line, parallel right there, right? It's about hitting your positions and being consistent in what you're doing, right? So alignment sticks are really good to get a little more feedback of where you actually are position wise, right? So use them, good tool. If you don't have alignment sticks, you can pick up those sticks from Menards that go in the snow to they're like 99 cents, all right? So you don't drive off your driveway. Those work good as alignment sticks too. But it's about feedback. Another thing you'll see in my little practice area here. So, and I recommend you do this at your house. So I have two mirrors here, kind of full length so I can see my body. I line myself up in the back of this. So I'm centered in that mirror, and then right here, and that gives me more feedback of where I'm actually at position wise, right? So I look back in that mirror and I can see, am I really where I think I'm at, all right? Or am I doing right here? So it's all about feedback. A lot of times when you don't have feedback, say alignment stick or mirrors to see where I'm at, where you think you are in your head, it's not actually where you are, your body is physically. So it's about getting that picture in your mind to the right spot you are physically. So mirrors, alignment sticks, all good feedback to where you are position wise. All right. So that was a review of our positions. In the pool, still below. The other thing I'd like to talk about today is, so we talked about where we start with the golf swing. We talked about a grip, and we didn't elaborate on, and it's the first position, it's probably one of the most important positions, is our setup. All right, so how we set up to hit the ball, we need to be consistent and do that. The same reason we need that grip on consistent every time. We got to get our body positioned the same every time. So first position you got to memorize, and some key points to, is setup. So one of the simple acronyms that a lot of coaches use for setup is PGA. And it's probably because it's easy to remember. PGA, it's PGA Tour Golf, but in this case, each of the letters stand for them. It's an acronym for how we got to set up every time. So the P stands for posture. So when you set up to hit the golf ball, similar to so a basketball player isn't getting ready to play defense, right? Quarterback sets up. He's kind of on his toes to hike the football. You just want to be in a good athletic position, ready to move, right? There's a little less knee bend in a golf swing. There is some knee bend there, but it's more important to set your spine angle than anything, right? When I say set your spine angle, it means getting a good base. Your weight is kind of neutral in the feet, so middle to inside of your feet to have your weight inside. Little knee bend, and then you kind of tip from the hips. All right. Some people say like sitting on a stool, or some people think setting that spine angle. So this is when I say spine angle, important thing to set and get right every time, or at least consistent. You don't want to be like this. You don't want to be too much spine angle. You just want to have a good set spine angle that you're going to turn around when you golf. All right. So it's important to set a consistent spine angle in good posture every time. You don't want to be lumped shoulders like this. You want to be up, good side angle, good weight, everything. Right? So that's P, posture. All right. The second letter, G, we talked about this already. Getting a good grip on every time. I'm going to put spine angle here, because you'll hear me say spine angle all the time when we're on the practice range. Because a real tendency for beginning golfers is just not to set a spine angle. They just stand like this and hit clubs. Important to set that spine angle and to maintain that spine angle through the swing. All right. So then G, grip. We talked about this already. Again, important to put it on the same every time and consistent. And the last acronym is A for PGA. That is alignment. And when we talk alignment, this is alignment to your target. So, general, I got this rug here. It's a good line here. This is our target line. So that goes to the flag where you're aiming. All right. And it starts where the ball is. You want to think of lines parallel to that. Some people think railroad tracks with Altoona railroaders. It's a good thing to think of, right? So my toe line needs to be parallel to this line. Exactly. Right? And then I set my good posture. I set my spine angle. I put a good grip on. Another thing, alignment is the feet are aligned, but my knees are aligned, my hips are aligned, my shoulders are aligned. Everything's aligned to that target line. Parallel on railroad tracks. Right? That's where we want to be every time. All right? And it's important to focus on those little things every time you set up so you can do it the same every time. Right? PGA. Okay. Posture, setup, grip, alignment. Am I aligned to my target? Good. You want to do that every time before you swing. All right. So, that's about all I want to talk about today. Again, review, stay small, stay in the pool. As important as the grip is, it's part of a good setup, right? So setting up the same every time. PGA, you want to say this every time you line up to the ball. PGA, posture, grip, alignment, all right? The last thing I want to touch on real quick, and it's kind of going to be real brief, and I kind of set it up for my next video, okay? I want to just go through quick what happens, your body does during the swing, okay? So we talked about positions, we talked about posture, but when your feet, some people, so we're going to start ground up and kind of just think about these things for a second. So we set up a good posture and we've got a good setup. The weight in our feet are, say it's 50-50. You want to come zoom in on my feet a little bit? So we want to say 50-50. Our weight's in here and I want them on the inside of my feet. All right. So a wider stance and keep it inside. Worst thing you can do, the weight should never go to the outside of this back foot. That's called swaying. That's a big common problem a lot of people have. Never goes to the back. It wants to stay on the inside, this foot, and it creeps to the back during your backswing, all right? So now you're in your backswing, weight's probably 80% over here. There's a little weight on the inside, but most of it's back here. And then we go into transition. It totally it goes from 80 over here to probably 70-30 over here, right? And it goes middle to back, all right? Because we're swinging around. And then it goes to the back, and now there's hardly any weight on the back foot. We're through to a follow through, right? So inside of the feet, middle to back, backswing, 80-20, forward, probably 80-20 again, to 90-10, back of your feet, right? So that's what the feet do, and kind of your weight does, right? The second portion, knees you don't really think about a little bit because they're connected right to they more do what the feet do. There's some keys with the knees, but we're going to go just to the hips, right? Because they're an important part of the swing, right? And the hips basically just turn back with your feet. There's a little shift into here in transition, and they go forward, right? One key of at impact, you kind of want to limit your hip turn on the backswing and maximize your shoulder turn. But at impact, they need to be open. The more open, in general, the more open your hips, the farther you're going to hit it. Right? There's a X factor thing in there. So hips, basically limit turn, full turn, right? And then the other turn we do is our shoulders, right? So a good shoulder turn, important for every golf swing. Turn, one of my keys is try to get that shoulder under my chin, right? Turn through, right? Boo Weekley, PGA golfer, that's as simple as his only swing thought. He doesn't think about anything else, he claims. But he's set up, he turns. I want my back facing the target, right there. I swing, I hit. I want my chest facing the target. That's all he thinks about. So basically he's thinking about shoulder turn. Back, chest, turn of the swing. So that's kind of a crash course, real fast, what the body does during the swing. All right, we're gonna cut it short there. That's all I want to talk about today. So stay in the pool, stay small, stay hitting, chipping. Want a little more feedback. All right, setup. Remember the acronym and setup, PGA. And then I want you just to start thinking about what the body does during the swing. All right, so shoulder swings, hip swings, and just think about your weight and your feet. All right, have a good one. I will stay in touch and I'll talk to you guys soon.